Hello, welcome. This is the second season of the Astronaut Nature. It took a little bit since the last episode to come back here, about 5 months or so. And of course, in that period of time, things have changed. So we have a new perspective to talk about pretty much the same topic I was getting to in the whole first season. What was that? Well, I was presenting logic as a particular way to limit certain things, and I was encouraging whomever was listening to use that as the measuring system for everything that we can perceive, be that concrete, abstract, everything. What exactly do I mean when I said the limit of logic, or logic as a limit? Let's imagine a finger on top of a glass surface. There's a point where the finger touches the surface. And that particular point is a limit. So if we were to consider logic or understanding as something that can, with an imaginary tongue, lick on top of the surface of existence with a lot of pressure, having nowhere else to go, how would that taste? What would be the taste of reality if we were to just go for it, knowing that there is no more room for anything but what it is? What it is big and it's rich, and also has a huge portion that is occupied by the abstract of existence itself. Why do we have that? And what do we do with that? Well, we've been doing a lot of crazy things with that portion. And from my particular point of view, in this specific moment in time, it is not useful if it is not practical. And to my surprise, when I decided to face reality in that way, I discovered that practicality also includes the abstract. I didn't necessarily see it like that before.
The Astronaut Nature. Every now and then some, because the Astronaut Nature.
I described in previous episodes that separation, it's been working fantastically well through our history. It's functional, and it does what it does. It separates. So we have been separating nature from man-made. We've been separating the abstract from everything else. And in a way, it was a tool, but it has gone way beyond its convenient interaction with our needs. Right now is a good time to reconsider that we don't really know where anything comes from, if that is going to be a window to put everything in perspective. We don't know where anything comes from, therefore artificial and natural not necessarily that separated, right? Because again, we call natural that we understood as something that has been here before we arrived, each one of us, and then artificial is that we see as man-made or created by humanity, and we skip the point that humanity is being constantly generated by nature, and therefore its intelligence, it's natural. So if nature is everything, then humanity is part of that. I explained this so many times before. The one thing maybe it always gets to certain people is that, okay, I get what you're saying. I have reached a point where I cannot deny, but since we are referring to practicality, what do I do with that knowledge? You don't have to do anything. According to my experience, and this is just a theory, but I believe that it could become something else. When you consider that, when you are exposed to that knowledge,
something changes
forever. And we see how things have been going with the separation. Right now, it's out of control. Literally out of control. We cannot control what's going on. We see nature as a separate entity from what we are, and that's not the case. Our logic, our most basic logic, says that that's not the case. We came from nature, and we are not separated right now from nature. Otherwise, we would not be here, but we are. So what does it mean that things will not be necessarily seen from the so overused filter of separation? Would that mean that everything is going to be together? That we're going to be more together? That we're going to be hugging each other or anything like that? No, not at all. It will mean that a series of stupid things that are happening right now will not be not even a subject of conversation. And we will take this finally to the next level, avoiding the constant and unnecessary loop of stupidity that we've been suffering forever. Okay, so in the last portion of the first season of this podcast, I had a chance to ask some people about the possibility of remaining alive here for an unlimited time and regaining youth or redesigning oneself into whatever we want it to be over and over again in an estimated period of 50 years of gathering knowledge and preferences and whatever, and turning that into a new persona every 50 years and simply just being able to keep going. You know, like planet Earth Planet Earth been here forever. And so we could simply just consider that. But what I noticed is that everybody was kind of okay with the idea. Some people said no because they were also having in mind that would trigger other forms of evil and whatnot. Whatever. I know that in a case like that, things will be different. Our mindset will be different, so we cannot necessarily judge that level of difference from this perspective. But normalizing that would be only normal. We don't even know or consider every day how big is the adaptation process that we go through. We have no memory of this, and here we are functionally interacting with everything in no time. So, since reality already is, what could be the thing that will stop us from something else, right? We don't even know why we want to continue living, or why do we have a consciousness that allows us to understand death and all that. I particularly think that it's cultural. I think it's a program. And I believe that the more people that can consider that, don't need to argue about it, don't need to do anything. Just the fact that you can listen to something and you know that your mind will take note of that and will simply analyze it. Zero effort. It's one of those processes that can simply work by you being exposed to the information. That's it. believe that it's absolutely cultural. I believe that we do not bring anything here. Basically, we found ourselves here. We don't know why we're here. We don't know where our fears come from, our personality, what keeps us steady, what turns it into madness. We can analyze that from the point of view of the biology of things, and we can say, well, this has changed sizes and this looks a little bit unbalanced, but that's mostly the result of something else. The beginning, the root cause of things are not necessarily the same thing as the symptoms. And we have another problem here, which is the fact that we've been destroying our approach to spirituality, or whatever you want to call that. All the self-help stuff is just nasty right now. It's stupid. From Bashar, Abraham Hicks to Eckhart Tolle, it's just a big fucking circus. You can name more, maybe, but that's just an example of some of those interesting characters that at a point were saying things that were somehow in an undeniable good place. Whatever is your idea of those things, whatever is your approach, I can tell you that those things have had an impact in my experience. In my fucking experience. Maybe not yours, but in my experience. And I completely understand if you feel like you have to disagree. Make sure you don't disagree, because that's just what we've been saying. You can do that as well. We're never gonna get anywhere if we don't analyze the entire shit. Once and for all, we need to have a seat and talk about everything so we can get something of this big picture. Anyways, it is super important to at least consider that we don't have to necessarily get in some sort of faith or whatever just because. It has to be something that we can experience and that will not destroy our logic in order to justify something. I mean, believing in something because you're using your intelligence and everything else that you have in your system of perception to get to that point. And not just because we want to believe in something, it's just the undeniable fact of getting to a point of allowing us, you, me, to take the whole combo plus thousands of other studies that, in a humble way, I have to say, at least in my case, I have approached. I'm talking about books, I'm talking about traveling to different places in order to find out more about things. I'm not just referring to being seated in front of my computer, no. Which is okay, it's just a source, but also spending hours and hours in different locations, different libraries, from New York to wherever, and trying to find more and more, because as the years go by, I try to really understand what the heck am I doing here and what is anyone doing here. And I came to the conclusion after going through really rough times that I don't even know where anything that made me who I am comes from. So I don't know exactly what's the level of responsibility that I have, except for the fact that I can say, I don't know. I mean, it's just being able to, through the desire of really wanting to solve something or to understand, getting to the point of questioning that particular desire. Why do I want this? What does it want? Because I don't give a damn. I can be a piece of tissue just walking without any consciousness or anything like that, but it's not the case. So there is something in everything. That's what I'm trying to say. In spirituality, in this and that, in religion, there is a little piece of information in every little thing. Because we don't bring anything here. And we have to be very careful with that, because if someone thinks that this is, monolithic, that will not change, that's my point of view. No, I gotta tell you, I am so ready to change everything because it's something that is happening effortlessly. If I see something that can change my mind, or if I feel something that can change the way I perceive things tomorrow, I will accept that because I'm naturally in the search of clarity. No one single message in spirituality or religion or this or that has been going through the lens of my understanding without problems. They all have fucking problems. They all have things that contradict the shit. And it has to do with whomever is delivering those messages, for sure. That's the case. And it's not necessarily a problem in that I'm trying to explain is that we cannot be completely neutral. You know what I mean? It's like we're going to add something to it all the time. Like right now, I don't know what part of me is biased, and that's the whole thing, but I'm sure you do. I'm sure you can hear some of that. And I'm sure some people can say, what the fuck is he talking about, or whatever. You tell me. I would love to hear what you have to say. And do not fucking bring me shit that, I know that it's hard to understand sometimes when you hear someone that you know, or maybe your next door neighbor is talking a lot of amazing stuff, but it's your next door neighbor, you don't want to fucking pay attention because you already know the guy and blah, blah, blah. Whatever is your fucking level of cynicism that doesn't let you break your stupid shell, keep it. I don't fucking want to deal with that. I am trying to destroy mine. I don't give a damn about who the fuck I was. I know that there's no way to destroy my existence, so therefore I can play around with those concepts. That's what's going on here. If I change my mind, you will know that tomorrow. And I think I lost my train of thought here, or maybe a long time ago. It's just a joke. Everything is. So if you still find comfort in saying, well, that's how things are, you know how we are, yeah, I'm a little bit like that, when inside of you are burning, or if you want to continue talking about the mysteries of things without analyzing the hell out of it, or not realizing that everything is a fucking mystery, because you don't know where the fuck anything comes from, not even the need for saying all that crap, fuck you. I don't need your fucking shit. You are obsolete. Therefore, do not waste our time. So let's continue with this. This is the first episode of The Astronaut Nature. Do you think I'm saying the same shit? Well, fucking get it, so we can move to the next subject. Or let me know, give me some feedback. I gotta tell you, and I'm gonna be really honest, the portion that I dealt with, the so-called spirituality and all that in my life, was useful and left a lot of understanding about certain things. Most of my life, I moved to do things just based on the desire and the search of joy and pleasure, just like everybody else. There are different ways to talk about it, but ultimately, we all just want to grab that good feeling. We want to feel good. That's what we want. Right now, in the next life, whatever the fuck you do is to be okay, to do not suffer. That's what you're doing. That's what we're doing. I know that this is it. I know the fear that represents someone telling you, there's nothing else, but this is it. This is where you can manufacture there's something else. Alright, so understand that. I'm not saying that there is not the possibility of keep on keeping on, or just simply continuing this, or even make it into some sort of experience as in another lifetime, or whatever it is. But this is where you are right now, and this is the only place where you can even manufacture the idea of that. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm saying that it is good to explore your fears and realize that you don't know where those fears come from. And maybe those fears are letting you know that it's possible to articulate some desire that might turn into a design or something like that. Just do your own internal research. Not in front of your computer, but inside. When I say inside, I don't mean in a meditative way. I'm saying, can you hear yourself when you talk? Well, that is decoding the noise that comes out of your mouth is a system of understanding. talk to it. Especially if you're alone, because if you are around people, they might think you are a little bit unbalanced. But just, ask yourself things. That's it. Not everybody has to believe in your shit, but you can actually attempt to make something new. And since you don't have any other memory, this is it. For some reason, we are hypnotized by the idea of like, oh yeah, well, it's impossible, whatever. What the fuck? We just came here only a few years ago. And we know a lot of shit, and we have this sense of like, oh, this has been here forever. Well, no, we haven't. So keep that shit going on and make it useful for you, okay? We'll talk more. Thank you for returning, and thank you for being there. I will be back soon, super soon. Bye for now, and do not buy into bullshit, okay? Don't let me down.